Alright, so it's, let's see, Tuesday night. I think it's the 20th. Anyway, we're going to try to rebuild this wheel cylinder, and as you can see, my glasses on here so I can show you better. The seal had come back into shape. I don't have a choice. I'm going to try to put this back together and go from there. I got all the pieces. I got to clean the piston up. The piston is not, it doesn't matter if it gets rusted. It's the bore where the seal slides down in here that we have to worry about. And take the spring out. It looks like all the pieces there. You can see pit marks. It doesn't feel too bad. So this is all we got to work with, so we're going to go for it. Last wheel cylinders I rebuilt were on a, I think it was a 47 Mercedes. Anyway, so I was looking at these hold down pins I got, extras in my toolbox, and looks like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to have these. It should have some kind of hold down in there to hold the shoe from riding out of the wheel cylinder like it did. Anyway, it's non-servo action, which means that it doesn't pivot where the adjuster is. It's held solid here and down by the wheel cylinder, so I'm gonna make my own holes if I have to, because the top one doesn't line up. This thing could have had springs on it for as far as I know. They could have come out the backing plate like this and hooked on. But if you look on the other side over here, it's not evident that there's any holes at all. So maybe whoever did this job drilled those holes and tried to put hold down pins in it too. You can see some, I thought these were bullet holes at first, but they look like cut marks or something. Don't know why. That's almost the size of a bullet hole there, but it's not, because you can tell it's been cut with a torch. You can see this got holes drilled in it here and here. The other thing I was noticing too, he's made his own little pin to hook onto the shoe of a bolt, which is good, but I don't think he made it long enough. I had the right idea, but I think it should be longer, because if you look, it's only going to go in so far. You're only going to get a little bit of movement. Maybe that's what happened to this. It come out too far and it's come off. Anyway, let's get the rest of this apart, and we'll sand her out with some emery cloth and go from there. Alrighty, so I had to force myself out of the chair earlier after work, so you can see how dished that is in there. So if you put this little adjuster, that's all the way out, that piston, so if you put that little shoe adjuster on there, you can see it doesn't come out very far. And I'm thinking that's half the trouble. So you should have been, you know, it could have been a little bit more, maybe twice that much. It's got lots of travel in there. I mean, you can travel that spring right up to there, right? And that'd be more better, Anyway, enough of that. I'm gonna find something to pop that piston out with. And I don't want to hit that seal too hard and rip it. That'd be disastrous. I gotta figure a way how to get that out of there. Air pressure, probably. One hand over here, one here. That's how I normally pop these out of there. Alright, let me see if I can find the air compressor. Alright, so I changed my mind. I was going to use air pressure to pop the one out. I could probably use something blunt like this. The idea is not to see, this is sitting in here like this, right? When it gets fluid pressure on it, it pushes the lip against the wall of the cylinder, seals it. So I'm going to put something here, and I'm going to try not to puncture that seal, or we're going to have a leaky wheel cylinder. That is just to push it out. Alright, so it's stuck in there, so we're going to have to use air pressure. Okay, here goes nothing. It's probably going to fly all over the place. So I should pick my pieces up right now. Get them out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to try to hold it here, hold it there. I have my doubts it's going to pop out very easily. That's 100 pounds of PSI. It's not coming out. Alright, so got to soak that and try to pull that seal out this end and then pound it out of there without wrecking the seal. Normally I wouldn't care and I'd put something in there and smash it out of there, but I don't have replacement seals. I'm sure you can get these wheel cylinders online, but I just don't have time. I want to get this done. And this will work if I can get it back together. So that's 120 PSI and it's not coming out, so we're going to have to soak it, I think. Plus I got some leakage. Nope. next try. Okay, so I smacked it on this end and broke it free. I don't want to push that seal across that rust, so I'll try to push it the other way now. There it goes. Just like that. Now we're going to inspect the seal. The bore is rusted, but I've seen a lot worse, as long as there's not a lot of pit marks. The seal looks good. We got no choice, we're going to reuse it anyway. Now, let's see if you guys can see this bore. The middle is understandable. The ends, you want this nice and clean. So let's go ahead and clean that up. Now, I don't have a wheel cylinder hone anymore. Used to have one at work. So I'm going to go ahead with the emery cloth. I'm not going to spare you the details. I'm going to clean that all up in there, and I might even have to take it to work. Wire wheel would be good on a drill here. Anyway, get back at you. Okay, after a cleanup, you can see I got it pretty good. Not too bad. That's this with emery paper. The dark spots I wouldn't worry about. It's really smooth. As long as it's smooth and it seals and it doesn't catch the seal. It's obviously not going to go all the way in. You can see the mark where it would normally stop. Anyway, we're going to reassemble. I'm going to put a little bit of silicone grease in there, something that's not going to eat the rubber, just so it lubricates the slide. I know some of you probably say, oh, don't do that, but that's what I've always done. That's what I'm going to do here. Just make sure it seals good too. I know the brake fluid will lubricate it too as well. Alright, so now it's Sunday, getting back at her. And a little cleanup later, and I've got it fairly clean inside with some emery cloth spring. So what now I'm going to do is, some people use brake fluid in there first off to get things to slide in there, but I'm going to use some of this Easy Slide. You have to use something good, silicone based, that's not going to eat your rubber all the hell. I don't know if this is right. Some of the older guys are going to tell me, no, don't put that in there, but you know what? It's in there now. It's going to help seal. Just the way I like to do it. Never had a problem yet, so it might not be right, but that's the way I'm doing it. Okay, put your spring in. Now, actually, what I'm going to do is put this from this side, so don't have to worry about the way the lip is fitting in there. It just goes in like that. So I'm going to use the spring in the center of that. Push it through. Let's see. Actually, I need to give that a lube too, a little bit. This is when your wheel cylinder seize up. This is the part that seizes right here. This steel slide. Now, the dish end goes out. Like so. Let's give that one a lube up. Now, this shouldn't be that tricky, but we'll be careful. It might help to have a little screwdriver. You don't want to fold that lip over backwards. That's what I'm trying to avoid to do. Like so. And it probably would have been a good idea to go ahead and put this cup boot on there. That keeps everything together. Like so. Now this one's got some crap in it. I'm going to go ahead and clean that out before I put that back in there. Kids. It's got a rip in it. It's not the greatest, but we're going to use that. Now, the other thing I got to watch for, this guy had the right idea making this pin, whatever the hell you want to call it, out of a bolt, but you can see it's got to fit in there. I think he's got too steep of an angle, and it's not sticking out far enough. And you guys can see that. So when it's pushed in, it's only got a little bit of travel on both sides. So I think that pin could be like twice as long in there, because that can go quite a ways, as you can see. And I can probably push the other one in that far too. So we're going to make this pin twice as long as this. So I think that's the problem he had. He had the right idea, but he didn't have it deep enough. I think that's what happened to this. Alright, so, and you can see he put an adapter for the line in here, and he used a copper washer. I'm going to leave that alone. The bleed screws, I'm not going to bother trying to free that up, because mount it, he's got it mounted upside down, so you can use the same holes. Bleed screws at the bottom, so I'm going to have to bleed it through the line. Alright, now we're going to have to stab that back on there, and then we're going to manufacture some new bolts. Alright, so the wheel cylinder's back in, and that pin lines up, but when I push this shoe to the backing plate, that one doesn't line up. I don't know if you can see that or not. I think that's what went wrong with this. You can see the hole's not lined up with where the pin should be. That should be out there, and I'm thinking that they have this adjuster out too far here. You can see it's way out. That could be pushing the shoe off the pad that the shoes are supposed to ride on the backing plate, so that would let it go down too far. You can kind of see it there. So we're going to crack this adjuster in the back and go from there. See if we can de-adjust this first, and then... Okay, so there's probably a special socket for this, but... Oh, it's not even seized. Sweet. Okay, let's de-adjust this. Alright, get you in gear here. You see what's happening here. What I need to do is find the spot where it's at its minimum. Of course, I'm looking at the camera, I can't see this. I think right about there somewhere. You see, it doesn't move very much. I wonder why. Alright, so I'm starting to think there's something wrong with this adjuster too, because it doesn't move the brake shoes like it should. And that should adjust them quite far out, unless one of these could turn here too, I guess. It doesn't look like it. Maybe they do. Maybe those things unscrew. I'll tear one up. I'm going to take this off and see how it's made. I'm starting to think that these brake shoes aren't off of this tank, or off a Bren gun carrier, because it kind of looks like it was cut here. These could be off of, kind of look like a Ford truck. But you can see how it's cut right there. It's got a step cut in there. That was supposed to be up there somehow. And this adjuster, I'm pretty sure, should move more than it does. Get out of here, mosquito. Because it doesn't have a star wheel adjuster anywhere. Wonder if I could take that out totally and put a star wheel adjuster in there. That would be probably a lot better once there. And I could put hold down pins in it. Someone's drilled the holes already. Alright, I'll get back at her. Alright, a couple weeks later now, I need to get back at this. You can see the length difference in the pin. I'm going to make a new one of this bolt, and I'll probably grind that down so these serrated edges are not going to screw the rubber up down in there. Anyway, you can see the old one. It doesn't have enough push. So we put that there. It's only in there that far. You can see it's not going to be, the piston's at its maximum already, so that ain't going to work. So I'm going to make a new one on both sides, and it'll push in quite a bit, and hopefully that, I might have to grind some off the end of that, I'm not sure. Or in here so it sits in there better. But anyway, next step is grind that. Alright, so this is the setup I have. My good vise right here. Anyway, I'm going to grind that in there. If I had some power. Alright. Okay, crudely, but it'll work. Maybe some more, ouch, that's hot still. Some more modifications. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is get a heavy-duty brake kit, hold-down kit, and you can see some of the holes here. These shoes are too narrow for this application, so I'm going to have to put a bolt through here and let it touch the backing plate just to bring it out a bit. so you don't get one of those things going on. And it has some kind of hold down pit, but I have to get back at this. Not sure when that's going to happen. Weather is real shitty outside now, you can see. Four-wheeler should be inside and I could work on that, but yeah, so there's a heater I got for the garage. It's still sitting there. Anyway guys, I'll try to get at this again soon, hopefully. I got 2 weeks off coming up, so we'll get at her. Talk to you later. Bye.